Thank you, Kelly. 20 minutes after 8 here on a Friday morning.
She's got the Gong Show going. We'll get back into that just a little bit. Years on New York City radio at NEW, and of course the Fox News fill-ins for Fox News Radio. And Leslie Gold, the radio chick, joins the show. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, so what do you guys think about the politics this year?
This has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It's been great. I have to tell you that as someone who guest hosts, and now, of course, my subject matter has been serious as a heart attack because it's politics. Usually, the run-up to the presidential election during primary season is deathly boring. This year, nothing like it. It's been fantastic.
And I remember you saying this when we talked about the Fox News thing years ago, is that the preparation that you have to do, because these are informed listeners, and if you get caught off guard, they can really beat you up.
Yeah, as a radio chick, and you guys probably to a degree, you can say something, sort of bluff your way through it, or you don't have to really back up your opinion. But when it comes to politics, or the history of politics, or the history of the country's relationship with Israel, the country's relationship with Syria, whatever it might be, you have to have your facts right, because somebody out there knows, and they will call you on it. And it's a national audience, so you can get a call from anywhere at any time, somebody that really knows their stuff.
I did a blog. I've now opted out of anything controversial, but I did a blog.
I don't think you should. Those are the ones that work. You're just worried about the reaction you get. You need to stop reading your mail.
You have a need to be liked.
Well, what I did
is,
really, after 37 years on the radio, you have a need to be liked.
I've been the white bread, the voice of reason, the nice guy. So I write a blog about. And this was not, do you believe in the Second Amendment, was if the government knocked on your door and asked you for your gun, said they were taking away your guns, what do you think about that? And you would have thought that I just rewrote the Constitution.
Well, you know radio audiences and any audience, really, they obviously didn't read the article. They read the headline and they reacted.
Right, of course. But you selected maybe one of the most divisive and controversial subject matter. Right. Why don't you just write about abortion?
I'll do that today.
Yeah, there's an idea for your next blog.
Thank you.
So every day there's something more ridiculous than the day before. This is why we say
you know what politics is like? It's like the Gong Show.
It is like the Gong Show.
Yeah, but nobody gets gonged. No one leaves the stage after some gongs them, right? Like
Kasich won't go away.
He's been gonged a long time ago, really, if you look at the math. Sure. And Ted Cruz can hear the ringing of the gong, and he
scares me.
It's funny. It's been very interesting, and Donald Trump has done this. Politics has been much about controlling the news cycle now. So every move has been only to control the next 24 hours of the news cycle. Donald Trump sweeps the 5 states in the Acela primary. Can't deny it was a fantastic night for him. Well, that's the news cycle for 24 hours, so Ted Cruz can't allow that. So he picks a vice president, which is astounding to me as someone who's a distant second, who can't mathematically get the nomination without some shenanigans at the convention. He picks a vice president just to control that news cycle, and then the return is Donald Trump gets Bobby Knight to endorse him in Indiana.
Yeah, I sang about Ted Cruz. I sang Desperado yesterday in honor of him.
All right.
So Ted Cruz is now Satan, according to
John Baker.
According to a guy that most Republicans consider as Satan. Right. So, it's Satan calling the kettle Satan in this case. Yeah, that's interesting. But the rhetoric this year has been pretty hyped up anyway.
Yeah. Now, what did you think about that letter that advisor, and her name is escaping me right now, wrote about Donald Trump? Do you remember that when she said, like, he started out as a protest candidate? I had his back.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did read that. I found that interesting and momentarily alarming, to be honest, for all the Trump supporters. She said that she had been hired at one point to help Donald Trump be a spoiler, basically, that his goal was only to get 12% of the vote. But if that was ever true, I'm not sure it was, but if that was ever true, he's well beyond that now. I'll say this for him. I have my issues with Donald Trump, but 2 things about him. Number 1, the guy is winning, and he is capital W winning in the face of unprecedented opposition. I mean, he is taking more friendly fire, so to speak, than he is from the other side.
Right.
$130 million has been spent against him, and he's spent $9 so far in his own campaign, and he's winning, number one. Number two, he doesn't need this. Okay? He gets, he and his family get bag full of questionable powder delivered to their apartments that they have to bring in, a hazmat team and poison control to look at it. He's got people getting bloodied outside of rallies in California. He's got 31,000 people inside, 100 people outside bloodying each other, and the coverage is on the 100 people. Right? He's got nasty articles being written about his wife, who, by all accounts, looks like a lovely, smart person who doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Esquire just did a weird profile on her. They don't need this, and he's still going.
Right.
So, to answer your question, I don't believe that article about the 12% spoiler.
And the interesting thing is, at this point, he is so far and away the winner. The rest of the party at this point would have fallen in line. They would have to back him, and he's got opposition like you've never seen before.
Cleared the field for him if it was any other year and any other guy, right? The Republicans would have been so overjoyed to have a guy who was pulling out in front and drawing in people who were either independents or Democrats crossing the line to vote in a Republican primary because they were that excited about somebody's candidacy. In any other year, the Republicans would have been high-fiving and building up Trump banners everywhere. Not this year.
Yeah.
Two things before we finish this segment. I have questions for you. Number one.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, running mate. Sarah Palin, yes?
No, never.
Okay.
Never.
Number two, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton in the election. What's the result going to be? Think it's going to be close?
Yeah,
I'm hearing
you're hearing
by a
blowouts.
Landslide. I hear Trump by a landslide.
You're hearing blowouts. I don't believe it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close. First of all, my nickname for her is Felony Clinton.
Yeah, right.
Although I don't think she'll be indicted, but there's every conventional prediction about Donald Trump has been wrong. It's too early to worry about a matchup, a general election matchup, and she's not really. She's inheriting a vote that doesn't want to vote for her. There's not a lot of excitement for her.
Right.
Yeah, especially among young people. Now they don't like Donald Trump either, but in the end, I'm not sure they're going to fall Hillary's way.
Yeah. Well, she's inheriting it because Bernie Sanders believes in unicorns.
Well,
free college, free chocolate, free unicorns.
Everything he's spouting at this point is all things that will never absolutely never happen.
Well, and I don't want to see the country go broke over Bernie's free unicorns.
Sure,
although unicorns are terrific.
Right, love the unicorn.
I do like chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate's good, but that's real. The radio chick Leslie Gold live in the studio with us, and we'll come back to talk a little bit more about the Gong Show. And you have a very famous man. Are you guys married?
He's my
You're
husband.
married. Okay.
Yeah.
We want to talk a little bit about his book. We're going to have him on later. Next week?
Next week.
Next week. All right. So we'll talk about Carmine coming up.
All righty.